with the Liverpool Warriors, which is right up the road. The high school you can actually see if you stand at the light here at Avicolli's. And so 7839 Oswego Road, we thank Avicolli's as always, John Fratto and the team and the Avicolli family. Tonight, we are here with Liverpool Warriors boys volleyball. And before we get started, can you please give the team and these gentlemen a round of applause? Show them some love. That was awful. Terrible. They slow clapped you guys. All right. So we are here with Sean and Kellen. And Sean, I'm going to start with you. You're 4-0 to start the season. Bring me into your favorite part of the season so far.
It's probably the tournament this past weekend because we just went down there, not a lot of sleep, and we just wrecked every team down there, and that was really fun. And for a lot of us, it was the first time we were at a tournament together, excluding the scrimmage tournament, but it was just a lot of fun with everyone too.
So a lot of fun to be out there and have the opportunity to be there. All right, well, Kellen, for you, do you have a different favorite moment?
I would probably say kind of like the locker room after every win that we have. It's always a good environment after we win.
A good environment after you. How would you describe a good environment?
Just a lot of messing around, a lot of having fun after we win.
Who's the jokester? Who's the funniest guy on the team? Who would you say?
I have to go with Chance. He doesn't really try to be funny, but he just is.
So you said Chance doesn't try to be funny, but he just is. What does that look like?
I just feel like a lot of the things he says, I feel he doesn't intend for them to be as funny as they actually are.
Okay. Sean, if we have the funniest already taken care of, who's the most serious on the team?
Most serious?
Who's the one that is just expressionless, always focused? The dad of the group, maybe?
I wouldn't say he's a dad of the group, but I'd say Ben McCarron's pretty straight-faced.
Okay.
Pretty grumpy, too.
Pretty grumpy.
Yeah.
Okay. Who can get him to ungrumpify himself, so to speak? Who can get him to laugh?
And most of us can. Sometimes he's we're kind of scared to do it sometimes. He's pretty
scared to laugh. Okay. All right. Well, we do the Tell Me Something Good piece here. So, Sean Frawley, tell me something good about Kellen Conway.
Best setter in Section 3.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Does your team agree?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Best setter in Section 3. All right. Big words to come back on. Kellen, tell me something good about Sean.
He's always a reliable hitter. I feel like whenever I go to him, I don't have to worry about where the ball's going, whether he's hitting or tipping. I feel like most of the time it's going to be a point.
Okay, I like that. So trust within each other. Your coach, he bought you guys pizza, didn't he, tonight?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Where's Coach? Where's Coach at?
He's back there hiding somewhere.
There he is. All right. Well, you got to tell me something good about Coach as well, Sean. I'm going to start with you.
I think he's very knowledgeable.
The side before. There was the side before, Coach.
I think he's very knowledgeable about volleyball. A lot of us, we have the athletic piece, and then sometimes we don't have the fundamental piece, and I think he helps us with the fundamental piece of volleyball.
Okay. What is the best fundamental thing that he's taught you? I don't like the size before. So.
Maybe just where to be on defense, just the spot to be in, that's it.
All right, the spot to be in.
Yeah.
Kellen, to try and do this without a sigh,
okay.
Tell me something good about Coach.
I'd have to also say fundamental piece, but in a different way. I'd have to say huh?
No, I just wanted to make sure they could hear you.
Okay, on another way, other than defense, I'd say with our swing, teach us to not always swing as hard as we can and find spots, and if it's not there to tip and still try and live to see another point.
Yeah, and when you look at, like you said, live to see another point, volleyball is one of those games where it can take a long time to feel that satisfaction in a match. How do you find your way through that patience? I'll start with you, Kellen.
I normally try not to focus on the scoreboard most times in the game. It's just because I feel like once you look at the scoreboard and in a close game, you try and do things that maybe you aren't capable of. You just try and look away from the scoreboard and play your own game. And eventually you'll get there.
Sean, how do you do it? How do you, when there's the adversity that comes through a match, and sometimes it feels like it can take forever to get a point. Sometimes maybe you're ahead, but there's just a frustration of closing a team out. How do you navigate through that?
I think a lot of times you just can't overthink. Like, you just have to play. Like, you're thinking about the scoreboard. Like, say we're on a set point and we're down by 1, and you have to swing as hard as you can sometimes. Like, you can't take something off it just because you're scared of losing a point. Like, you just have to, like, be fearless, sort of, I guess.
Before we started the broadcast, Sean, your teammates said that you were the best redhead in Section 3. Are there any other redheads you know of in Section 3? There's one, right?
They were talking about, I don't even know if he's in our, like, league. There's one kid from JD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I brought it up because of this. I want to debunk some things that are out there in life. And redheads don't get a lot of positive publicity. So tell me what people have wrong about the redheaded people out there, because I feel like there isn't that love, and I would prefer to debunk that. So tell me what the best thing is about being a redhead.
The best thing about being a redhead, I guess, I'm unique, I guess. Everyone has brown hair, black hair, blonde hair, but we're just different. We're special in our own way, I feel like.
Yeah, I like that. Give him a shout out here. So it's good to be different. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, Kellen, so staying with that, who has the best hair on the team?
Ooh, the best hair?
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have to go with Amari on this one.
All right. See, as soon as I asked the question, some people looked at you, some people didn't. He was like waiting to win an Oscar. He was so quiet. He was already in his head saying, like, if I don't win, I'm going to nod and pretend like I didn't want the award. I'm going to cheer for other people. But I could see on his face, and as soon as you picked him, all of that inner energy he was hiding just came out. And I hope that it was tangible on our microphone that he went, yes. So, very cool. So you're happy he picked you? Okay. Do you think that there's anybody that's a close second?
No competition.
No competition whatsoever. Okay. So before we jump into rapid fire, where we can put each other on the hot seat, have some fun with that, we've started the season off 4-0. Kellen, I'm going to stick with you on this. What, in your opinion, can get better with this team? Because obviously you start out undefeated, and that's great. But you can't rest on your laurels of that. There's plenty of season to be had. Where do you see this team improving?
Well, I feel like there's not much improvement for us to go around with our hitting and our versatility there. I feel like if we needed to get better, our one focus point would be our defense and our covering off our swings. I feel like if we were able to perfect that, I don't see many teams being able to stay close with us if we're able to keep our defense strong and be scrappy and not lose many points.
What's the most improved piece of your game?
I'd probably say decision making, because a lot of the times you just go around and especially when I first started, I just throw it around and hope for a kill. And now I feel like I see the game at a different level, and I see like where the defense is and how I can move some hitters around, get other hitters open. And I feel like that's been a big improvement for me.
I like that. Playing the long game, playing the chess game. Sean, for you, where can you see this team, if you had to pick a place to focus on in practice, what do you want this team to focus on right now?
I think a lot of us, we've been playing together a really long time, but some of us are pretty new to our whole system. So I think it's not about any individual strength or a team strength. I think it's just about playing together more. Volleyball is a team sport, and I think the more reps we get, that we're just going to become better, as a team, in a system.
Where have you improved?
I think I've improved a lot in my control. Before I used to hit a lot unhinged and kind of with no control, just kind of hitting as hard as I can. But I feel like I've gotten better at that in the spots.
All right, I like it. We're going to jump into rapid fire. These gentlemen get to put me on the hot seat. I get to do the same. So, Sean, you get the first question. What do you got for me?
Best pizza topping.
You're asking an Italian Hispanic man to pick my favorite pizza topping. I would say, oh my goodness. Well, I talked about it earlier today on the show, and there's nothing like the grandma's pie here. It's Sicilian, it's that square slice, little bit of sauce, cheese, the fresh mozzarella on the top, the basil, and it's like the texture of it is just so different. So I don't know if I could say a topping as much as I could say grandma's pie in general here at Avicolli's. That's what I would say. All right, Sean, back to you. What do I got for you? All right. Do you watch Marvel? Do you know anything about Marvel?
I'd say I haven't watched a lot of movies, but I'd say I know.
Okay. If you were going to give yourself a superpower, what superpower would you have? And you have to put a team together to go fight some whatever giant big bad like a Thanos, right? So you could pick two teammates and you can empower those teammates. So what is your power and what teammates do you pick and what do you give them?
I'll give myself like super speed. I feel like that's just like a really overpowered thing to have.
Okay.
My two teammates. That's hard because I feel like it could be anyone if you give anyone two power ups. So I'll say Kellen and I guess Jack.
Okay.
Jack the Forge. I'll give Kellen like super strength.
Okay.
I feel like that would be useful. Jack.
Where's Jack at?
He's straight ahead right there.
There's Jack. He's hiding. He's so mellow right now. He's awaiting your answer.
I'll say like invisibility. Jack can get invisibility.
Invisibility, which is working because I can't. He's blocked by a person right now, so I actually couldn't see him hanging out in the back. So invisibility, super strength, and super speed.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good combo.
Some good choices. All right, Kellen, what's your first question for me?
Best fast food restaurant.
Best fast food restaurant. It's probably the one that I wanted here for over a decade, and I got it, and I work with them, and I actually met one of my closest friends that I consider a brother through it, which is Jim Sikowski. So I'm going to say ChickfilA. And yeah, I mean, their milkshakes are second to none. I never thought I'd like a peppermint chocolate chip milkshake, but I get it every, I think, Christmas Eve. I get one for myself, and I try every year because I know that when they're finished selling them, that they got a little bit left. I always try to like get that batch, like that last bit of it, and take it home and put it in the studio. So I'm gonna say Chick-fil-A. All right, Kellen, back to you. What is the one food you can't live without? And what is the one food you wish never existed?
I'd say a food I can't live without is probably like a good burger, like a good like cheeseburger. I feel you can't go wrong with those.
Okay.
I have those a lot, you know, like coming home from a practice or a game. My dad's always ready to make me a cheeseburger, and that's my go-to. You know?
Okay. Good cheeseburger from Dad. What's Dad's first name?
Bob.
Bob.
Yep.
Shout out to Bob. Can we clap it up for Bob? Gotta clap it up for Dad making cheeseburgers. All right. So the cheeseburger is the one you can't live without.
Yeah.
What food would you like to erase from history?
You know, I have to go with asparagus. I've never really been a fan of them.
Okay.
I just don't like them.
All right.
Can't.
Asparagus.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to disagree with you. Sean, you got one more for me? What is it?
Favorite place to go in Syracuse?
Like, of anything?
Yeah, like, well, not like a restaurant. I'd say not a
Yeah,
restaurant.
okay. Favorite place to go in Syracuse? I'm born and raised here, so there's a lot of different things I could say. I like nature, so I would say probably the Bluffs in Oswego because it's away from everything. Or I would say probably out in, I like bringing my dog out to Onondaga Lake Parkway. So I would say that. I don't. The reason why I didn't just outright say that is that the Geese have marked that place and they own that place forever, and it is very hard to dive and dodge all the stuff that they've left as remnants of them. But I do like bringing my dog, and she likes it. And there's some really cool parts where you could go out into the water and just kind of like be on the rocks where you're in the water but not in the water and hang out. So yeah, I mean, I would say anywhere with a good walk, and I think Syracuse and Central New York doesn't get enough credit for that. When I tell people I'm from New York, they're like, oh, when the towers fell, did they almost hit your house? And I was like, no, we're 4.5 hours away. So I think people they think about New York City, that's what they see from movie and TV. But the reality is, I think we have the best part of New York. And we have front lawns, we have back lawns, we have seasons that you can see. And I would just say that, I mean, you asked where I would go, but honestly, taking a ride on 81 and watching the leaves change. I'm a fall baby, so I like seeing that, and I just think we're underrated. I think Central New York's underrated. Can I get a clap for Central New York? Can we maybe show some love to my own team? I want to share.
To be honest, it's a bad answer, but probably my
Spoken like a true person that is how old?
I'm 17.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Teenagers today cannot live without their phone. When do you ever put it down for more than 2 minutes?
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
Not very often.
Okay. All right. Favorite like app on the phone? Do you have a favorite app?
Probably TikTok or YouTube. Hey, we actually made a TikTok in me today.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It went well.
Okay. What was it? Can I ask what it was?
It was like a dance. We did a dance.
Oh, okay. You did a dance.
Yeah.
Which team?
Karen.
Okay.
So,
So Ben, right there. What
Yeah.
was the dance that you did?
what was the dance? Fraud, that's what it's called.
Shawnee Fraud?
Yeah.
All right.
TikTok.
All right. Check him out on TikTok, folks. All right. Kellen, what's your last question for me?
What's your most favorite spot that you've traveled to?
Most favorite spot that I've traveled to? I mean, I could say Florida because it's a second home, but I feel like that would be cheating because it's a second home. So I would say, I'd probably say Toronto. And people were nicer, but it is a very busy. And listen, no disrespect to New York City. I like to visit. I could never live in New York City. I would leave my car in the middle of the road and I would just leave it in traffic. But no, Toronto's fun. I've driven through Toronto, and I feel like I would pick Toronto just because I like being there when it's like negative 12 degrees outside. And how many places can you say you like when you're freezing? So I'll say Toronto. All right, Kellen, my question back to you. We went food with the first. Let's do this. It's an election year. You're going to run. Every time I say that, people get scared of what I'm going to ask you. I am not going to ask you about the president this year, okay? I need you to tell me who your vice president is of your teammates.
Okay.
And I need you to tell me the first thing you would do the first day in office. Everybody says, day one in office, I promise to do this. Very rarely does it happen. I want your day one promise.
Day one promise or teammate?
Both.
Okay.
Day one promise and your vice president.
So my vice president, I feel we talked about this as a team the other day. I feel like Chance would make a great president.
Chance, okay.
You know, he's just one of those guys.
Okay. Just one of those guys. What does that mean?
He has a way with words.
Has a way with words. Okay. You do need that.
Yeah. First day in office.
Your first promise.
Man. I don't know.
Anything in the world.
Probably make like Taco Bell after midnight free.
Delivery.
It's all gotta be free.
It's all got to be free. So, I mean, I guess it is a way for population control because you could kill some people by the amount of Taco Bell that they eat.
Well, yeah.
So, that could be, could be another pandemic if you let that happen. But Taco Bell after midnight, is that your go-to?
Yeah.
What do you
100%.
get?
Well, you gotta look at the boxes, the build your own box.